Welcome, everyone, to episode number 32 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is our first episode of 2021, so welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone had a good holiday season and all that good stuff. We're kicking it off this year with a special guest. He's out of California. He's an LA native. His name is Tech. He's a producer. I got familiar with Tech around 2018. He had a song on Lupe Fiasco's Drogas Wave called Stronger. That was a very interesting song to me. It's one of the standout ones in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. It's kind of ironic that he's the third producer now from that album that we got on the show. We had Von Beats last week and we had John Content a few months ago. So I kind of found that very interesting that I've already had that many people from one album on here. But man, Tech just brought a great energy to this episode, man. He tells a story of how he was in the studio with Teddy Riley and he told him a story about playing over 100 different beats for Michael Jackson back in the day, and how one huge record came out of that, and I'm not going to reveal it right now, but you'll hear it in the episode. It was a kind of a wild story. And the other crazy story that Tech shared was how he landed on PARTYNEXTDOOR's Party Mobile album that came out in 2020, and that was obviously a long-awaited album. He told the story of how he kind of was at a crossroads in life and kind of moved from one job to the next, cutting hair, and he ended up cutting PARTYNEXTDOOR's hair once, and PARTYNEXTDOOR kept coming back to the barbershop, and they just kept kind of building a relationship, and he ended up playing him the song eventually through many, many months. He ended up landing the song that ended up being on Party's album. So it's really, a testament to being able to be in, really what I'm trying to say is like a testament to having patience with, especially in music, you really have to have that type of level of patience to be able to just keep going and not really get discouraged through a lot of different ups and downs, because eventually it will, work out for you in due time. And I really think that's the theme of this episode and something that Tech himself has done and continues to do, and that's why I think he's going to have a lot of success. And I really appreciate him getting back with me about being on the show. And I had a lot of fun, man. I laughed my ass off, even if you can't see it. Man, just a great way to kick off the new year. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 32 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creator Series. Today we have another producer out west. This dude's got a very unique sound, in my opinion. He's worked with PARTYNEXTDOOR, Lupe Fiasco, many more. We're going to get into it. Tech is here. How are you, man?
How you doing, my brother? What's the word, man?
Awesome, man. And like I said, thank you for getting back with me about being on the show. I know it's been, 6 months or so since we first talked, but, I'm glad to finally, connect and make it happen. So to start off, every episode, we kind of just have the guests kind of give a rundown of, who they are, how they got their name, how they started in music, just the basics.
Wow. Okay, yeah, my upbringing, man, is pretty crazy if you ask me. I was raised in music, man. I'm kind of bred to do this, so to speak. My whole family is into the music industry. I got a lot of live guys in my family, between keys and drums and bass, and my cousins and my family do it all. So, I mean, my dad is my direct influence. I remember being young and falling asleep in studios and just being stuck in the back playing video games with my little brother until eventually, you start to grow up and say, okay, well, hold on, what y'all working on in there? And grow up even more than that. Now I got an opinion and now I got a influence on what's going on in there, So, I mean, just growing up, I remember watching my dad produce, and he's a G in the game too. He's done plenty of artists like, between Coolio, B2K, Immature, Jesse Powell, Raheem Devon. I grew up seeing a lot, So I remember one time I grew up on an MPC 3000, and we just started, as a culture, we just started freaking our hats and shit in the beats, And my pops, he would always say, yo, come in here and freak the hats for me. And that was like my claim to fame for a second. Like, all right, cool, I get to freak the hats, And then after that, it's like, okay, well, let me throw some eights in there. And then let me do a little more. And then move over, pops, let me make the beat, So, I mean, gradually growing, and then got into rapping as well. And, seeing a lot, man, just trying to sponge it all up and add to myself, and you know what I'm saying, create my own little sound and vibe, and release that to the world. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a cool road so far, just in my musical life. You know what I'm saying? To really put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's super dope. I didn't even know like that your dad was a producer or anything, to be honest. So that's a really cool story, honestly, man.
That's my mentor, my OG, my Obi-Wan, you know what I'm saying? It's like everything, I still do stuff with him, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a key guy, so I'll do all kind of stuff and lay a foundation and just shoot it to him and tell him to add some color on there, or, you know what I'm saying, point me in the direction of where it needs to be. Oh, you know, I need a live guy on this. Okay, I got the right bass guy for you. Send me that. So, I mean, you know, we work a whole lot, man. He's had a whole lot to do with my sound, my career, my choices, everything I do in this industry, to be honest with you.
Well, that's super great to hear, man, and I'm glad to hear that you had, you know, someone kind of there to kind of show you the ropes a little bit as well, and kind of just, you know, as your upbringing and to where you are now, that kind of helped you kind of grow and develop your sound and whatnot, so that's super awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I remember the little things. It's always the little things that help on it. I grew up in L.A., man. I remember, you know what I'm saying, going in the liquor store and we're going to get some slushies or whatever, and there was always this, like, rack of crazy music, whether it be like Mexican music or Russian tapes or some weird ass shit. And I grew up always seeing my pops like buy 2 or 3 of those tapes. It'd be like a Russian dude sitting with an accordion, and he's like, for sure, and grab a couple. I'm like, whoa, and we'll get to the crib and play it, and like the stuff that you hear is like, how do you not sample that? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, it has a whole lot to do with my sound and where I'm kicking it nowadays. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's awesome. I know, like, I went to LA like 4 years ago, and like just from observing it from like an outsider's perspective, I can tell it's like a melting pot of cultures. You know what I mean? Like, especially in the music too, because like I went to Amoeba out there that has like all the records and everything, and like you just see like thousands and thousands of different choices and things like that, and like I just got that whole vibe from LA in general. It's just like you can kind of take influence from a lot of things and kind of blend it into what you're doing, and I think that's why a lot of people like, especially like you said, like they like to go and find the weird, unorthodox things and kind of like see what they can pull from them and kind of make their own thing out of them. So that's definitely something that, you know, I think a lot of people, especially a producer, like I feel like we can like take, you know, you're just supposed to listen to like a lot of different music, and I'm going to get into like what your influences are here in a bit, but like I think that's very important, especially at like a young age, to kind of be exposed to a lot of different styles. Because then later on you can come back on that and be like, oh, I can take this and kind of draw it from this and make this new thing out of it. So that's like the beauty of like the whole thing. That's like what it's all about to me. So
exactly. I mean, and out here it's cool. I wouldn't even really say. I think LA itself has it's just a vibe of out here, you know what I'm saying? I hear a lot of artists that, you know what I'm saying, be from all over the world, and when they get to going in their career, they always come to LA, you know what I'm saying? And it's not that, you know what I'm saying, there's just some secret that we're holding out here. I think it's just the vibe and the somewhat carelessness of it, you know what I'm saying? All the way down. I remember watching this interview, and it was Russell Simmons, and they were talking about the G-Funk era, and Russell Simmons was basically saying how they missed all of that on the East Coast purely because of the weather. You know what I'm saying? The kind of shit we was kicking, the melodies and it's like you can't really enjoy that with it raining, you know what I'm saying? And on subways and all of that. No disrespect to my people on the East, but it's just like when it's palm trees and the sky is open and we got the whips out, we got the girls with half of they, you know what I'm saying? It make you want to, that nigga had to leave, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, make more music, and I think that's the vibe that LA brings. It's just like, look, let's do more for the euphoric feeling of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget where you at and how it look. Like, let's just make it feel great. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's a blessing to be out here, man, and to be this much closer just without even, you know what I'm saying, having to work for that side of it. It's a blessing.
I think that too has to go back to like music is really a part of life, you know what I mean? Like you draw the inspiration from just living your life like every day, the things you don't even think about. So like you just said, if the weather's nice, you want to make upbeat stuff. Like you feel good, like you feel just the energy you're receiving from that. But Yeah, that I never really thought of it that way, but that's definitely a great point to
It tripped me out too.
Yeah.
It tripped me out too. But it does help. I mean, all the way to the other side of it. It's like, I mean, call me crazy, but I be calling my sound. This is how I break down my sound. I call my sound that scene in the Matrix. I think it's like Revolution or whatever like that. And they're running from the droids and all of that, and they shooting high in the sky, and it's just so like dark and motherfucking clouds as dark as hell, and it's just like so much pain and just like real reality. And then they shot over the clouds, and for like 5 seconds everybody's eyebrows are shot like, oh, that's so beautiful, man, this is crazy. And then you shoot right back down to reality, and it's like, okay, that's where them A's hit, that's when them drums is hard, that's where everything is just crazy hitting, but the melodic part of it is just, you know what I'm saying, kind of euphoric. And I like to think of it that way because it's a good little balance of even pain. I use pain a lot, man. This year's been crazy. This year has been absolutely wild. You know what I'm saying? On every level. So even the pain side of it, I try to use in my music and make sure that I'm always being honest with what I'm feeling, so you can hear that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's always the most important stuff, is just channeling, like we said, your experiences into the music, because that's what's going to come out at the end of the day anyway. So that's super great. I'm not really familiar. What DAW are you using these days? Like, do you use one, or are you kind of all over the place, or are you still doing the MPC thing? Like, is there any set thing you use?
You know what? Nowadays I'm on FL. I'm on FL. It still lets me get as wild as I want. I try to be able to do as much as I could. But I started off, I try to learn as much as I could, man. My pops, going back to him, he always said, learn a new program, don't get stuck. So, I mean, I started off on an MPC, grew up a little bit, didn't have my studio. I had Pro Tools on a laptop. I started sequencing on Pro Tools for a little bit. The sequencing was killing me, the timing and all the quantize and everything was killing me. So I jumped off of that, went to Machine, and got kind of fine with Machine. Got the loop placement on Machine. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into another story of that a little later, man. That beat actually had a crazy Lauryn Hill sample on it, but whatever. Made that beat on Machine and was in a place to where I'm like, okay, well, cool. If I got my first placement on this, maybe this is my golden ticket. And then, you got homeboys who you send beats to, and, you swap beats and just hear what each other's working on. And one of my homies he just kept on sending me shit like, it's just beating my ass. Just like everything he's shooting to me. I'm like, bruh, this is sounding cold. What you using? He like, dog, if you don't get on this FL, I'm trying to tell you, it's easy. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. He's like, all right. Kept sending me stuff, beating my ass. I'm like, look, how do I get the FL? And then he got me a crack version. I had to go backwards. I had to go back and get a PC. I hadn't used a PC since school. You know what I'm saying? So went and got a PC, had him throw some the FL on there, steroided up for me, you know what I'm saying? Throw some sounds and shit in there. I even had him like start a beat, like, cause I'm like, man, I'm coming from the left field, so like start a beat for me and let me finish so I can kind of find my way around it. Man, I jumped in that FL and I ain't looked back. You know what I'm saying? So cooking, and then swung and hit a home run with the party joint. And I'm like, okay, cool. I thought so. So now I'm here and I'm getting comfortable. I'm kind of cracking my knuckles because it's still so much I don't even know about the program. So, I mean, just learning. I'm comfortable with FL right now. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good to hear, because I'm FL Studio myself, and I had Vaughn Beats on here last week, and he was slandering FL, and I was like, Vaughn, I love you, bro, but you cannot slander FL on my podcast. Cause, like,
what are you using? What is he using?
Reason. He said he uses Reason. I'm like, okay. Like, I respect it, but like, I cannot take the FL slander. So you have come in today and made me feel a lot better, because
Hey, nah. FL is. I used to clown it too. I remember having a conversation with some OGs in the studio, and it was when the culture was changing, when the game was changing from like, okay, well look, it don't take no big ass studio to make no hit. You know what I'm saying? And I remember them guys said they was at a producer award or whatever, and you got just OGs just like sitting next to each other. And then the producer of the year went to like Soulja Boy. And it's like, yo, the game is changing, man. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's at. The kids is using this. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're able to kick this heat, then get in there and do that with whatever you use it. You know what I'm saying? I've heard heat with GarageBand. I've heard heat with, you know what I'm saying? I remember T-Pain had a little app or whatever like that you can make some shit on. I mean, whatever you use, man, as long as it sound good, use it. You know what I mean?
It's funny because like when I first got into it like 6 years ago, I really didn't know any like programs or anything. The only one I ever heard of was GarageBand. So the only reason I started using FL because I was watching Hit Boy, and I was watching like him on YouTube and just figuring things out, and then that's what he used. So I was just like, well, I'll just use that. Like if he uses it, I'll just try it. And I don't know, I just never stopped using it. So like I might eventually try other things, but I like you said, I think it's all in just like what is your comfort level with learning, and like can you just do what you got to do within that program, and that's all it is. You know what I mean?
I do advise you to try some other programs, though, man. I do advise that because it's you never really know what part of your brain you're not working. You know what I'm saying? Until you jump in certain things. It's like that little pocket of time I had on Pro Tools. I'm thankful for it, even though it didn't really. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any material I could show from it, or ain't no placements or nothing come from it. But what I'm able to think of now, because of my time on that, is like, I bet, okay, let me finish this beat and throw it back in Pro Tools so I can go ahead and throw a movie scene in there, and I could, okay, bet, I'm going to chop this up and blah, blah, I'm going to flip that back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to think a little different now with that added. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I love Fruity Loops, man. I'm kicking it here for a second, but pretty soon I do want to learn, like Ableton or something, one of them crazy mountains.
Machine has intrigued me, so I might look into that soon, because I like kind of like the freedom that I think it gives you with just like being able to kind of more like you said with the whole like FL is more like on the grid, like very like I don't know, it's just something about that might be cool to just kind of try something different. But
I mean, I love Machine. I love Machine because it like I said, I was raised on the MPC, and they give you that pad. You can go digital, or you can use the hardware. You know what I'm saying? I love sometimes you like to feel your drums. You know what I'm saying? And just tapping that pad, it just do something for you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it gave me that back, and that's definitely a vibe, and it puts you in a different kind of space. So I mean. I really didn't like the song format. It's like they make you work a little harder than I wish you could. But, dope experience, man. Dope experience. You should definitely try.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. And I appreciate you kind of, telling us where you're at with it. Because, like, I know everyone has, like, a different approach to it. It's really just about how you use the tools. So that's awesome.
Man. Yeah.
So as far as maybe producers or even artists that you were listening to coming up that kind of made you say, I want to be into music, who were those people, and who do you think you're still playing heavily today, like in your rotation?
Man. I mean, my ear is wild, man, because I grew up around so much, like I was just banging Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Between that and my grandfather was an opera singer. You know what I'm saying? My grandma brought us up under jazz. So I mean, I was a youngster tripping off Atomic Dog. You know what I'm saying? And it was old as hell already, and I was just like tripping. Like, how did they? Like, this is in the '70s, and then you go all the way up, and you got Timbo, and then I'm losing my mind off of that. You know what I'm saying? We grew up off a lot of Dre and Quick as well. You know what I'm saying? So that live instrumentation, because I grew up seeing a lot of live music and appreciating a lot of sequence music. So that bridge, my IQ wasn't high enough for that bridge and how to really put both together. And then this fool named Pharrell got, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? So that blew my mind as well. Stuff like Beautiful. I said, okay, well, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Because I love drums, and I'm like, okay, well, you can incorporate the live feel because that's just instinct. Drums that bang, they bang. You know what I'm saying? That boom, 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 boom. It's like you almost could put whatever music you want on that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when they put the guitars and they go, I said, okay, hold on now. I don't got to lose my live connection. You know what I'm saying? So even now, man, I'm still trying to chase it all. But between the old school guys, I love the '70s era. My favorite producers, like right now, if I had to just name a couple, I would go with like Timbo for sure. I would go with like the Neptunes. Chad is just as crazy. Southside is one of my favorites. Dude, get his shit to hit so crazy. Dilla, You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's a whole lot of guys out there. I don't even want to really keep going to leave nobody out, but I mean, I'm influenced by a whole lot, man. It's just like whatever you do, great. You know what I'm saying? And not even just hip hop, man. Sometimes I won't even listen to hip hop. Sometimes I'll just cut on some, you know what I'm saying, some left field stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's the group called Karangbin. I don't know how to pronounce it the right way, but they cold. You know what I'm saying? And it's just some funky stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just music. So I'm inspired by a lot, man. Even new guys that I don't hear, that I don't know, I'll just go floating and just go try to press play on somebody I ain't never seen or heard of before and give it a shot. And sometimes I'll be like surprised, like, man, there's some people out here kicking some heat.
So is there anyone out of that group or maybe someone else that you'd ever want to collab with or do a song with?
Man. You know what? I mean, we're trying to make the Timbo thing happen right now.
Oh.
And I'm just trying to be honest, I would love to just be a fly on the wall if I could just press play. I mean, because being around the G's like that, I remember I had a session with Teddy Riley, right? Mm-hmm. And we I don't know, my cousin Indian made it happen. We just got a couple hours with him. Not even a couple, I think it was maybe an hour. But got to play him some music, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of raise your eyebrows and see what an OG think. And, we got him bobbing his head. So I'm like, okay, cool, for sure, I'm on to something. And then, dude says, can I play something? And then he presses play and blows us out the studio, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I remember a story he told us, and this is just credit, I'm taking a little left turn, but this is just credit to keep going, and get your sound together, and just ratio is everything. He told us Michael Jackson called him. This is when he booming. He's like, yo, Michael Jackson calls me and says, y'all want to come to the studio tomorrow and listen to some stuff. And Teddy, which is the craziest response in the world, says, nah. He's like, give me a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, not tomorrow. Give me a week. Let me prepare a little bit. All right, makes it happen. Within the next week, dog, he gets, I don't know if he cooked them up brand new or put a pack together, whatever. He said he came up with with 100 beats. You know what I'm saying? Within the week for Michael Jackson. I mean, that's what it takes, probably, right? So, comes up with 100. He said, Mike, come back, and they start playing beats. You know what I'm saying? Beat 1, beat 2, beat 5, beat 10, beat 20, beat 30, beat 40, 50. Now, there could be hits in there. I don't know what else is in there. You know what I'm saying? He made it seem as if they didn't go with none of them until, like, they get to 90, 95. He's like, yo, the last beat that I played, we ran with. Like the 100th one. You know what I'm saying? And that song ended up being Remember the Time, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, that blew my mind, because it's like, I'm sitting back like, okay, well, shit, 50 beats is enough. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not. I'm just saying on the practical side, let me hurry up and get him in here so I could play something. You would think somebody would stop at 75 or maybe 90. Dude did 100. So, I mean, it just told me, all right, you're not doing enough. Just keep working. You got to do more. You know what I'm saying? The Jesus at another level with it. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to hit that plateau, you got to keep on going, man. So those are really the people that inspire me, the people that do a hell of a lot and just chase it. You know what I mean?
That story is crazy, to be honest. Like, yeah. and that's too, like, a testament to, like, how great he is and, like, how great Michael was too. Because, like, Michael could have just been like, well, kind of like a few of these, but, like, no, he, like, sat there and went through all of them, and, like, by the end of it, they had that freaking song. Like, who would have guessed that? But, like, that's fucking crazy. And, like,
you know what I mean?
And even the fact that you got to, like, be in there with Teddy and, like, kind of just absorb, like, all that information and kind of just, like, be there for that amount of time, that's incredible, man.
That was a blessing, man.
Yeah,
it's a blessing. I done seen a couple things. It's all a blessing, and you just kind of just take it, bank it, and just got to keep going. I try not to get too, hyped and overly excited about stuff, or not too down about stuff, and just kind of just take it as it comes, man, and use it when I need it. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks for sharing that story, because that was awesome, man. That's
no
crazy.
Worries, man.
So as far as, like, any career advice you've been given so far up to this point, do you think there's anything that's kind of stuck with you that you've kind of ran with as far as just being able to keep a level head about yourself moving forward with your career?
thing, just from my career and where I'm at with it, and you know how far I've come. I mean, I think I just let to remind people not to quit. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's gonna be so much crap that happens, man, in life, and you know what I'm saying, with relationships and kids, and you know what I'm saying, death sometimes, and you know what I'm saying, all kind of crazy. This year, I don't even got to start on this year. Nobody expected nothing like this. So, I mean, you know, with all of that stuff, it's going to be easy to stop and quit sometime and look at something that's not working, or if you ain't got a placement yet, or if you ain't got the, you know what I'm saying, recognition or whatever you need. Sometimes it's easy to say, okay, well, let me just cut that part out. Maybe life will get a little easier. But, I mean, if it's your passion and you in it with your heart, I mean, you got to realize anything that's, you know what I'm saying, worth doing and kicking will be tested. The authenticity will be tested. So, I mean, you know, you just got to really just keep at it, man. Keep at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a couple placements in, and they both came at a crazy whack part of my life. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. You know what I'm saying? And they were great experiences musically. And I mean, you know, thinking about it, I smile musically, but if I remember where I was in life, it was like, oh shit, man, that kept me from jumping off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, don't stop, man. That's my advice. Do not stop, man. If it's in your heart and you feel you got a talent for it, and you know what I'm saying, if can't nobody else tell you otherwise, keep on. Straight up.
You gotta have the thick skin too, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are probably gonna, a lot of people are gonna tell you, you know, that it can't be done, or they kind of speak from their perspective on how it happened for them. But at the end of the day, it's your journey. You know what I mean? Like, you're the only one that can make it happen for yourself. You just got to be able to sit back and analyze. Like, I have enough resources here to make it happen. It's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but if I keep going, that's how it's gonna work. You know what I mean? So.
No, yeah, straight up, and you know, look for influence, man. Look for inspiration. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, there'd be a lot of people that you cross paths with in your life that end up doing amazing things, and you kind of played them short when you was around them, maybe because you was looking at the wrong thing. I mean, you know, I've had a lot of dope little, you know, things I've seen happen right in front of me. Like, okay, hold on, this can happen. You know what I'm saying? Between like stuff, I've seen my dad. I always bring him up. I seen him making a couple dollars in the corporate world, quit his job to do music full time. I seen that, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, shit, the battery I got in my back to just do this full time is crazy, you know what I'm saying? I grew up as kids with Pac Div, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to see that happen, I said, okay, well, hold on. We was in the back playing ball. You know what I'm saying? And now they doing exactly what I want to do. I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to see certain things is like, it helps. You know what I'm saying? So look for that. I'm blessed, man. I can't even front. The stuff I've been able to see and be around has just been purely a blessing. So I'm not here to call it anything less than that. But if you don't got that, look for it. You know what I'm saying? It helps. It really does.
100%. As far as how you manage your time, maybe studio time versus just setting aside time for your personal life, is there anything that you've ever struggled with in that regard, or have you kind of kept a good balance for yourself, you think?
I mean, you know, it's a roller coaster, man. I let me tell it, I don't do half as much music as I want to. You know what I'm saying? But I just try not to have those down days. Like, you know what I'm saying, any partner of mine that say, yeah, man, I got beat block. I'm like, ain't no such thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lack of inspiration at the time. And something's not inspiring you. You know what I'm saying? So find it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have days to where I'll sit down in front of the laptop, won't necessarily create, but I'll find like samples or shit that makes my mind jump. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put it in a folder for when I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I got this thing, I call it the desktop grocery store. You know what I'm saying? That's a folder of mine. And I just go into the store, you know what I'm saying, and grab something out of there, and it's gonna get me going, because you don't make it in there unless it's dope. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I'm feeling down or like not inspired at the time, I know something in there gonna get me going. So, I mean, you know, I try to do stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying, when it's time to create, it's time to create. When it's time to just set yourself up or work on old shit or complete stuff that ain't done, or you know the beats that's a couple sounds away or maybe one sound away or something away, finish those or see if that the day brung the idea, you know. So I mean, I try to balance it, man, but living is important to me. Living is important. Like, you know, out and all of that. I'm not really a club dude like that. When I go, I love going because you get to see what the music does. You know what I'm saying? When you in the club and the bass is hitting and baby girls bouncing her booty and, you know what I'm saying, the homie over there, he plotting and, you know what I'm saying, the whole shit that going on, I'm some homie over there flexing, you know what I'm saying, baby girl over there dissing homeboy to this beat, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a whole lot going on that you get to see. When you take it back to your laptop, it's like, oh man, everybody finna be doing everything to this. You know what I'm saying? It just puts you in different mindsets. So I love going out to see it, man. See emotion, see life. You know what I'm saying? Every now and again, I'll bring my laptop on the beach, go to Venice Beach, and I'll just make a beat till my shit die. You know what I'm saying? And just to see the water, just to see, you know what I'm saying? See and feel the world. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit, it flows through the music. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, man.
That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, too, which is like you have to let things kind of just come to you. Like the inspiration just has to kind of just be there as you're just living, you know what I mean? Like you're not trying to force anything. It's just like it's happening and you're just channeling it into the songs pretty much. So, yeah, that's super great. So as far as all the songs you have out now, is there any – I know this is always a tough question to, you know, pin down. Is there one song, one of the placements you have that you might – want to share a story about, or that might be one of your favorite ones, or is it's too hard to pick? Maybe you could pick a couple if you need to.
You know what, man? It's easy for me right now. It's easy for me, man. It's the party situation. That party situation is rare as fuck because, I mean, all right, look, I came up in the music game. I've been doing it practically since teenage years on up. You know what I'm saying? Still just on the yellow brick road trying to get there on another level. But on and off. So in my adult years, when it wasn't really popping like that, you know what I'm saying, what do? You get the JO, and I was a warehouse guy just trying to keep my lights on, you know what I'm saying? And there was a point in time to where I looked in the sky and said, okay, well, look, man, I believe I'm talented. I got to give myself more time to do music. This ain't doing it. They taking too much of my day. You know what I'm saying? So, some love in the family, you know what I'm saying? One of my pops people owns a barber shop, and that was always something in the back of my mind. So I'm like, okay, well, look, let me jump in this barber game, become a barber so I can control my schedule and give myself more time to do music. You know what I'm saying? So even with that, I had to stop music for about 2 years to learn the game and just jump in it head first and do that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Somewhat got good enough to start cutting celebrities' hair. You know what I'm saying? Fuck around and I cut PARTYNEXTDOOR's hair. You know what I'm saying? So cut dude's hair and, you know, not talking no music, not talking no nothing. I'm just trying to get my bread at this point. You know what I'm saying? They brought me back, you know what I'm saying? And I had been coming back cutting his hair for about 3-4 years, dog. About 3 years, really. You know what I'm saying? Really about 4 years. And, you know, I'm not talking music. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, we building a relationship. I done been to shows. I done been in the stew. I done been, you know what I'm saying, in some decision-making meetings just randomly, you know what I'm saying? And never really brought myself up. And, you know, it wasn't time. It didn't fight. And that's just hint to follow your gut. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't feel right. It felt thirsty. So I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I remember a time, homie hit us up and said, yo, I want to come to the shop and get a haircut, man. I want to get my shit done at the shop. And that's not his style. So I'm like, yo, you sure? Like, you know, it's Friday or whatever. He like, yeah. So he come up to the shop, getting his hair done. You know what I'm saying? And I finished him up, and my sis, she does his dreads. She needed a couple more minutes. She needed about 20 more minutes till she can get to him. So, you know, he's just looking kind of just in the shop, like, you know, getting hounded on by this little teenage chick and all of that or whatever. So I'm about to go to the car and smoke a blunt real fast, you know what I'm saying, on my little break. So I'm like, yo, you want to go to the car real quick, smoke a blunt, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, to get you out the way for a little bit? He like, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I bet. So we in the car, what you do when you smoking? You listen to music, right? So I ain't finna play nobody else's music, shit. So I remember Nip had just died about a week or two ago. The city's still kind of low, you know what I'm saying? And I did a beat to a Nip acapella, you know what I'm saying? So played it for him. I said, yo, man, I did something to this Nip shit. Tell me if I'm tripping. And, you know, we played it, we smoking. And he get through it like, yo, dog, that was pretty funky, homie. You know what I'm saying? You got some more? And I'm like, yo, yeah, I got some more. So I play some more, you know what I'm saying? We get to beat number 2, 3, 4, you know what I'm saying? my dog closed his eyes, did the songwriter's mumble, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh snap, it's happening, you know what I'm saying? And he opened his eyes like, I bet, yo, you got to send me some music, you know what I'm saying? He go to contact, blah, blah, blah. I bet, got the contact now. I'm screaming to the sky for that. Like, I bet I got somebody for real's ear open, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I wasn't tripping, you know what I'm saying? So, dude, I mean, it was a gang of beats, you know what I'm saying? I think I got to the first 10-pack, got crickets, the second 10-pack, third 10-pack, fourth 10-pack. I think I got to about 50 beats. I sent them with no answers, just crickets. The average person would have like wondered if you had the right email. You know what I'm saying? Man, out of nowhere, like I said, my life was in a crazy spot. I'm in the car and I got my face in my hand just off of some shit that was cracking. And boom, boom, email got sent. Yo, man, this is Party's engineer, man. We need to stem to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, well, snap, this is crazy. Crazy as hell, you know what I'm saying? Now, I said all of that to say, I mean, you know, you never know how it's going to happen, man. There's a million ways into this game, you know what I'm saying? It ain't always going to be some, you know what I'm saying, some easy, they got found at 16 and just blew up. It ain't going to be that easy story all the time. You know what I'm saying? I cut my way into this placement, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And I waited for the opportunity. I was patient and was blessed with the right time, you know what I'm saying? So, all of this was really just a testament to not stopping, man, and just making sure I found out, you know what I'm saying, really not to stop. Like that, I always say that's my claim to fame. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. I never in a million years would have thought that this placement would have been birthed from how it was, me cutting hair, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful. That story right there is one I love to tell because it's like, you never know, man. You never know. You could be a regular or smegular, you know what I'm saying, and still get up in this game. If you got heat, you got heat. You know what I mean?
That's incredible, man. Like, that's probably one of the best stories I think that's ever been on this podcast. So, like, thank you, bro. That was fucking awesome. But, like, what I would say about that is, like, I think there is, to me at least, there's, like, a misconception as far as, like, especially with the internet and everything, and we see, like, these 19-year-old kids and like these 20-year-olds that make one song and it seems like bam, they're, you know, this huge artist or whatever. They're this huge, they went viral, whatever you want to call it. But like, I feel like that's not likely for the majority of people. You know what I mean? Like, no matter if you're trying for it or not, it's like, I think people look at that and they see, oh, it's that easy. Like, I can do it. It's that easy, and there's not really going to be any hardships. But I think that's dangerous because they don't understand that there's people like you, for example, that you've literally waited so long to be able to get to that point. You know what I mean? They didn't see all what you had to go through to get there. They usually only see
and you know, the funniest part about it is, even if I would have mentioned music or tried to send beats in the first 2 months of meeting dude, he ain't made no album in 4 years. Yep. I didn't know that. He wasn't even making music. So, I mean, you know, follow your gut because it would have been a for show brick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you sending beats to a blank, you know what I'm saying, ear right now. You know what I'm saying? It was purpose. It was purpose. It happened when it was supposed to happen. He had just been making music and then dropped the album the next year. Who knew? You know what I'm saying? And back to what you were saying, as far as it's not always that easy. I think you don't really figure that out until you get in the game, man. You got to get on the treadmill and really realize, like, okay, certain shit is hard. You got to have your networking skills up. You got to have your business skills up. You got to have your creativity skills up. You got to have your, you know what I'm saying, knowledge of the culture game up. You know what I'm saying? Shit is not that easy. It's like that little hustle. They got a scam going on with. I ain't gonna drop no names, but some artists out there that just jump in your DM or whatever and say, yo, let me put you on this mixtape, let me put you on this album, and motherfuckers is going for it. You know what I'm saying? And really paying money to get on it. It's like it's that easy. Like somebody really gonna just come out of nowhere, you sitting on your couch not doing music, and somebody just gonna jump in your DM and say, yo, I want you on my shit, I mean, I got game, but come on, man, you don't got, come on, it ain't that easy. So, I mean, you know, I feel you when you say it's not. I mean, if it happens that way for you and you make the first record and it goes triple platinum, then shit. I mean, congrats to you. Keep on working, knock another one out the park. If it ain't that, then don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that you can't get that. And there's a lot of places on this world that appreciate different pockets. That's why I want to, man, I was supposed to go to Japan in March when this whole shit jumped off, and I'm so mad we couldn't go because, I mean, there was so much I wanted to learn out there just about different sounds and different music. I don't want to just stay in hip-hop and all of that. I want to, I got some different ideas I want to be on, man. You just got to go to different places in the world to learn it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm mad that didn't happen. But, I mean, you know, yeah, don't stop. Don't stop. It ain't always super easy.
Well, thank you for sharing that again, because, like, I feel like that's something that a lot of people kind of miss is just, like, you really got to be in it for the long haul, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not ready to do it like that, I don't think you're going to be cut out for it. And that's not to, like, put anybody down, you know what I mean? It's just kind of, like, the harsh reality of it is just, like, you have to have that attitude of, like, every day you got to keep it up and just keep trying for something more, you know what I mean? So, we got a few more questions, and then I'll wrap it up. I won't keep you too much longer. If you could go back 10 years, Tech, and maybe give yourself advice, maybe say nothing at all, what do you think you'd do?
Okay, wow. This is a pretty crazy one, but I would spend more time around people doing more than me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I surround myself with them kind of people now. Like I want people just like shit. Every time I talk to them, I gotta get on my shit. You know what I'm saying? People are on their game. I think I kicked it with too many people that were into it. You know what I'm saying? But not really. You know what I'm saying? Diving in head first, you know what I'm saying? Really going for it. Like I said, I grew up with Pac Div, and they went for it, got it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit. When I seen them blow, I was like, man, I was kicking it around the wrong. I should have been kicking it with my cousins. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, I wish I could say, yo, you know, go ahead, get uncomfortable and kick it around some people that's doing something a little more. And I just think it might. And like I said, everything's purpose. I don't regret anything that's happened in my career so far. But I got this hidden thought that it might have happened a little sooner if I got with the right people a little earlier. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't waste no time around people that's not really, really, really doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell myself.
So 10 years from now, I know it's a while away, but it'll probably be here before we know it. Where do you think you want to be?
10 years from now, 2030, I like to be on if not a couple Grammy Award winning albums. That would be pretty live. Maybe kick off an artist of my own on some different pocket of industry shit. And man, probably I want to climb a mountain like scoring a movie, man. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy like that. I want to get my game up to where I could, like, you know what I'm saying? I got to get my key game up. I got to get some more some musical instrumentation, all of that game up and all of that. But I would like to jump into something crazy like that. The idea of that kind of scares me. So I want to jump into that within like the next dime. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. Cause I like how when Dre did the I don't know if he fully scored it, but the Bad Boys 2 joint, and then you put some Dre in there in between, and then the in between beats, boom, 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 boom. It's like that's Dre. And then same thing with the Pixar joints Pharrell be doing, and how he incorporate his funny sound, and you know what I'm saying, and make it fun, and make it like, yo, these cats is crazy dope that they can put their sound in movies. Like that trips me out. So I like to do that. You know what I mean?
That would definitely be crazy. I forget, I had another guest. They said they wanted to do horror movies. Like, they wanted to score, like, certain types of horror movies. I forget who it was, but I was like, that would be kind of crazy, like being Chucky or, like, being, like, Friday the 13th or some shit.
It's hard. It's hard. Man, I sat in the room when they were scoring a movie, man, and you sit back, and the reason I say it kind of scared me is because it's like, looking at a movie blank with no music, it's like, you realize how empty the movie is. The movie is super empty without music. and adding the right sound. You got to really have a knowledge of sounds and what goes where and what, you know what I'm saying? It's not too fake. And okay, that's we got to make this sound realer. And okay, yeah, I need that door crack to open a little. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff is not there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's crazy. So whoever said they wanted to do a horror flick shit, that's even harder to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's fun, man. It's just, you know, the shit we try to chase musically. That music is always all around us. You know what I mean? So I smile at the thought of just the different things that I want to accomplish in the game. You know what I mean?
So what can you disclose as far as maybe songs you got coming out, projects you got coming up, anything you can kind of give away that we can look forward to?
No. Only because, man, you know how it goes, man.
I know.
Yeah, business. I try not to even say what I'm involved in until the shit drops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can just think it. Just think it in your head right now, and we get it.
I mean, that's the game. That's the game. It ain't never personal. You know what I'm saying? You could be like one of the first records that make that joint. You know what I'm saying? And you ride around to the end, and it's like all good artwork, everything done. You know what I'm saying? And then when it dropped, it's like, yeah, that one was a little too old. We're gonna go with 13 instead of 14. And it's like, oh, I done talked all this shit, man. I got people waiting for the release. Oh man, I'm looking crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't really happened to me because I've learned that from somebody else. But I mean, you know, that's why I don't speak on it, man. So I mean, you know, keep your eye on me, man. I'm definitely in the works. I'm definitely on the ladder. I'm trying to climb up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a lot of people email right now. You know what I'm saying? And just getting it together, dog. You know what I mean? Getting it together.
You can't jinx it, man. You can't jinx it. Don't wanna ever do that.
Nah, you can't. You can't.
Oh. Any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Words of wisdom, man. We all in the same game. We all in the same game. So if I had to say anything, I'd have to say, don't forget, it's always for the better of the record. Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, you know what I'm saying, keeping it real with your family members, you know what I'm saying, versus booty, dog. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, pulling your cousin out the room and saying, I already booked you a session because you're not going to do it. You're super dope. I got to get this to the world. You know what I'm saying? For the better of the record, let's not play this world short. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this joint in our laptops if it ain't good enough and release it if it is. You know what I'm saying? I remember Quincy Jones, I saw him on his joints. He said something that I ain't never going to forget. He said, it's only two types of music. It's good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So let's be honest to that. You know what I mean? For the better of the record, y'all. Straight up.
Well, Tech, that's all I have for you today, bro. I appreciate it. I had some good laughs. I loved all the stories, man. So, like I said, I appreciate you getting back with me about being on the show and everything. You know, hopefully we could do this again one day, man.
I appreciate you for reaching out, man. I mean, I'm on my own little journey right now. I'm in my corner pocket, you know what I'm saying? You reached out, so that's much, much love. When you in Cali, man, we gotta set up something in the stew. I could play you some shit, and you know what I'm saying? We have a good time, homie.
I'm coming back next year, so maybe we could do it then. I'll let you know, bro. I'll be in touch.
Straight up. I'll slap your palm for sure.
Thank you guys for listening today. That was episode number 32. We'll be back this time next week. Might have a surprise episode coming up within the next month, another surprise one. I hope you guys all enjoyed the 2020 music recap. Like I said, we're going to try and do some different stuff moving into the first full year of this podcast, as well as these amazing interviews. But until then, we'll be back this time next week. We'll see you then.